All right. Thank y'all for hopping on with us. I'm so excited that y'all have can you do that? Okay. So excited that y'all have hopped on with us to kind of hear a recap. I know that corporate had a recap today at noon, which was incredible. If you have not watched that, go watch that. It had all the announcements um, from the summit, which I won't be going over since they are doing that. Um, and they've already taken care of that. So we're not going to be doing the announcements, but we are going to be going over these takeaways. And then I'm also going to be, so Shar was with me there, and I want her to talk about, you know, her take on Summit because she has been in the industry. She has experience from another company, and I want her to, talk about what made this event maybe different than events that she's been in the past. So I'm going to first start off by saying that, and I will just say this. So Dana's team is also on here as well. So welcome, y'all. I know that, it's important to have these recaps and really just, express that. So I want to speak for my team. I'm only speaking for my team. I felt like, and I will just own this, I did a disservice by not putting this out there more. I did put out the announcements. I did put out but I should have pushed it a little bit more. And I want to sincerely apologize for that. I sent the information out, but I did not emphasize like to go. And I'll be honest, 3 weeks ago, I did not plan on going. And so it happened. And so I know at that point, it's kind of like getting a flight and all that stuff is kind of hard to do, but I made it happen. Shar came with me. And so I just wanted to put that out there first and foremost. But I want to kind of go over a few of my takeaways, and then I'm going to let Shar take it and let you hear some of her takeaways and also what she thought was different about ours versus, some that she's kind of been at. So first of all, the theme of this weekend was success is an identity process. And if you don't like, it doesn't matter what rank that you are, until you identify the fact that you can be that rank, that you can be, whatever, until you believe that for yourself, then you have to identify that within yourself. So believe that from the inside out. You have tons of people around you, tons of people, that believe in you. So make sure that you identify that for yourself. Um, Stop waiting for the perfect time to recruit people. There's never going to be a perfect time to recruit people. Now is the perfect time to recruit people. Whenever, you've got loads of information that Brittany and Laura talked about, that little workbook. I've put that in the board section. We all have access to that board. It's in there. I think I labeled it Brittany and Laura's playbook. So it is in there for all of us to access. So make sure y'all check that out. I look at myself now as being on a rescue mission, rescuing mamas, daddies, grandmas, all aunts, whoever, in the fact that they can do this with us and be a part of a bigger mission and helping more people see that they are, capable of doing this too and providing a bigger purpose for their family. Um, Also winning the day. So the day mentally. So Lizzie Brown, she's a new VP here. She talked about, getting up, whether it's making your bed, doing something to win the day, checking that off. I do that every morning. I did not do that this morning. But I do try to do that every single morning and doing something to win your day because before the day takes over and you don't get it done. So that was a big thing that stuck out to me. So Joe and Naomi, they have been 15 years in this industry. They are an Amish couple that have a massive Amish team. I would say that at least 50% of the people that were there were on their team. Would you agree, Shar? Yeah. I mean, it was a massive, I mean, I felt like I was definitely in the minority of the
I felt like they were the
here.
majority. They had a huge presence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their kids were there. I mean, it was just phenomenal to watch them. So Naomi said something that stuck out to me, and it says, faith and fear are two very strong emotions. The strongest of the two of those will always win. And I was like, that's so true. If you have more faith, your faith is going to win. But if you are just scared all the time, that is going to win. That's going to take over. I know that's going to take over. So make sure that whatever fear, or whatever, like, emotion that you have, make sure that it's the one that you want to win is going to stick out.
Mhm.
Faith over fear, always. And then something else, and I put this in my chat that day, is if you aren't building this business, your why isn't big enough. So make sure you know why you're doing this. We talk about this all the time. I know Dana and Lori do too, about why you're building this business. If you're not building it, she was so convictive in her words, saying, like, if you're not talking to everybody about it, and trying to get people to join you, your why is not big enough. And so I've really, really sat with that, and I'm like, trying to talk about figuring that out, why we're doing this. So make sure you know that. Um, they go home to home building the business. And me and Shar talked about that. We were like, they literally go house to house building this business. And that's what they do. Um, one of the things I wrote down that they said is, I decided. You make a decision. You have to make a decision that you are going to hit executive director. You are going to hit executive brand partner. You are going to hit vice president. You are going to hit that next rank. You're going to hit that club. If you make the decision to do it and get it done, it's done. Like, you just have to make the decision and go and do it. Put the steps in front of you and do it. Get your heart in the right place and to become a visionary. That's what Joe, he paints the vision for people. He shows them what he's doing. He's not he'll show them the comp plan, but he really, really paints a picture of Bravenly. Um, and then with confidence, yes, with confidence. Um, and then he says, learn to adjust. Adjusting is part of the journey. And it's so true. Y'all, there's stuff that comes up in our lives all the time. Look at Dana. I know y'all know about Dana's story. I know y'all know about what had just happened to her. She had to pivot and make an adjustment, and she's doing it with faith and courage and everything that's taking her to do, but she's still showing up. She's still showing up. So I want y'all to just know that adjusting is part of the journey. It's just part of it. I know I talked about the workbook that Laura and Brittany did. Y'all, there is some really, really good scripts and nuggets in there. Make sure that y'all look at that. Um, let's see what else I had here. Oh, Brittany Beck with the green M&Ms. As soon as I heard her talking about M&Ms, and I knew what she was going to be talking about, because every time they did this exercise at a retreat, and every time I see M&Ms now, I think about the green M&M. And I'm like, oh, okay. When you have a handful, I was like, oh, I have two. Shar, how many did you have? Two?
Two.
Two. So
Yep.
it was like most people had two or zero, like we had to all hold our hands up. So you have to keep going until you find your green M&Ms. Your green M&Ms make up about 5% of your business, meaning that those are your 5%ers. Those are the people that go all in. Those are the people that are on this Zoom. Those are the people that are, on every call, going and doing every DMO. They're doing everything. They're doing their reach outs. They're doing all of those things. Your brown and your yellow M&Ms, that she was calling like a mixture. She was like, those are like your 80 percenters, the ones that are just kind of dabbling. So anyway, I really liked that. Brianna Mueller, y'all got to hear from her today. She's the one that just had a baby last month and hit EVP all in 1 month. She said, "Are you busy or are you distracted?" And I was like, that hit me, because are you busy or are you scrolling Facebook? I'm guilty. I know. I'll own it. I'll own it. Are you busy or are you scrolling TikTok? That's what she said. She was like, if I open TikTok, I might as well just like be scrolling. Like I can just count an hour out. She said she had to delete it from her phone completely. She deleted the app. She said, is your desire greater to change? I must have missed that note. Maybe Shar has that, but she said it takes the same amount of work to get to the top. It just depends on how much, like how fast you want to go. It takes the same amount of work. You just have to compound it into working faster and working more, like the deck of cards that we
Yeah, that's
talked
what I
about.
was sitting here thinking.
Yeah.
Aspen talks about turning over a card. You can turn over one card an hour, or you can turn over one card a week.
Yeah,
It's up to you on how fast you go, or you can turn the whole deck over in a day
yeah,
and then start again tomorrow.
yeah. It just depends on how fast you want to
How many
do
people
it.
you want to talk to,
Yeah.
how fast you want to grow.
Yeah. She said, give yourself permission to say no to the things that don't serve you or your purpose. So that's what she was talking about. TikTok. She was talking about people or events or things happening, maybe like, at church, like if there's events happening and you're trying to run for a goal, give yourself permission to say like, no, I can't do it this month. I can't, I just can't, I can't fit it into my schedule this month. Give yourself permission to say no to those things. Um, she was saying that consistency will always beat intensity, and which is true. I mean, being consistent versus being intense with the things that you're doing, consistency will always win. She says she always does her IPAs, which is our DMOs, our income producing activities, before anything else. So she gets up, she goes out to the barn, she gets dressed, she gets her kids fed, and then she does her income producing activities. She says that reach outs happen first. Building relationships with people. So responding to stories first, reaching out to people, asking them to take a look at the business, those things she does first. She doesn't post, she doesn't comment. Like she is always going to build those relationships and get in Messenger, reaching out to people first, because she said by the end of the day, she's like, I don't, I don't want to, you fill your day with everything else. And by the end of the day, you've not reached out to anybody. And then you're like, oh, I'll do that tomorrow. So don't put it on the back burner. And then I posted about this today. I know if you were on that Zoom, you heard this too, is that God can't bless action that you don't take. And that has sat with me, and I just keep hearing it in my mind over and over and over again. If you're not doing the activity, he cannot bless that activity because there is none being taken. So that was huge for me too. So she said that, obedience, he's using ordinary people to do extraordinary things. So that was big too. So one more thing that I have, and I'm going to turn it over to Shar, is that, Todd gave a whole spiel on, like, he had a whole basketball analogy, and it was like, I don't know, I couldn't write fast enough. I think I had 2 pages of notes full of his of stuff. But Adrian Watley said, we are not even 1% of where we can be at. Y'all, that was powerful for me. I mean, she was saying to help people walk into their greatness, get to know people. If you have people on your team, get to know them, get to know why they're doing it, get to know people about, why they have said yes to you. They've said yes to you for a reason. They want to do this for a reason. find out why. Um, you're not defined by a title or held back by a title. So whatever your rank is, you're not defined by that, and you're definitely not held back by that. So tap into your strengths and your weaknesses. Those are muscles, and you should be building those every single day. She's saying that Bravenly is a moment in time. She said 15 directors is vice president. If you can help 15 people go director, you're hitting vice president. So teach people, find the people that want to go director, and just get them on the, she's like, just keep driving the bus. Y'all, she had, so I really didn't even want to write notes because I was just so laser focused into what she was saying. But I did, she said, teach them how to go director. I don't know if you guys have seen, but I have a folder in the boards app, in our boards app called, I think it's just called director, or it's called director, and it says our core rank, go director, our core rank. In there is a map to director on a team building base and a core, like a customer building base. There's a video that explains it. I got it from Tara. That is how you can teach people to make money going director their first month. They can do it as fast as they want to, but that is super helpful. And like I said, that is in our boards app under that folder. You'll see that. But I'm going to turn it over to Shar. And Shar, I want you to tell us some of your takeaways, and then also how you felt there versus maybe how you felt at other company events.
So I know the importance of being in the room, right? I know big things happen at events like this. So that's why it was important for me to go. And I knew once I got there, I would find the reason that God brought me there, right? And so I have all the things that you shared that were important, like one of the main things that hit me is God can't bless your action if you don't take the step, right? And so and I think another one that hit me that I wrote down is action kills fear. So I think we get so I get so paralyzed by fear, right? Like, what if what I say isn't good enough? And I think I heard this weekend that you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, right? And you can't say the right thing to the wrong person, right? Like, but what I think was different, like I could list a bunch of things that were impactful, and I have just notes upon notes of important nuggets that each of them gave me. But what I couldn't write down, what I couldn't explain is the feeling, right? The rubbing shoulders with people that were excited. I got things from people that I just met for the first time that were just like me, right? They sat in the same row as me for a couple days. They were just welcoming. They shared things with me that that made me excited, right? Um, and so the most important thing that I could say is watching everybody and rubbing shoulders with them, that they were excited and they had heart. And that is probably one of the biggest differences, because I've been to conferences before, but the heart, the welcoming, it didn't matter what the level, right? If they were just someone that had signed up about the same time I did and they were just getting started and getting their feet wet, or if it was the Aspen Emery, that like they still stopped and took the time and invested in you, spoke words of wisdom. And so if I could share anything, If you're wondering if it's worth the investment or it's, for some of us, it was a flight, it was a hotel, it was a ticket. Um, but what I got from that event and those people that were on the stages and the people that I sat next to for those couple days, um, I couldn't even put a price tag on that. And one of the things that I wrote down that I didn't hear you say is that there's the power of one, right? So don't, sometimes I think I have to get all these people, I got to talk to all these people and make an impact. And sometimes it's just the power of one, finding one person to reach out to, one person to help, one person at a time. I really liked when they said build through the busy, right? Busy is not your barrier, it's your battlefield.
Mhm.
And I didn't even put who put that in there. But the power of one was from Brittany. That was what she said when she was doing the green M&M. Um, and that was impactful, right? Like I had a handful of, I don't know, maybe it was 10, 15 M&Ms and there was yellow and blue and brown. It was all these different colors, and I had two green ones. So, like, if I had to go buy a big bag to get my 10 or 15, right? You said you needed 15 people to go directors. So, like, I'm just gonna that's my goal, right? That's what I got from there is one at a time, one life at a time. Um, and I don't even know which page it was on, but um this is the time, right? Like there they said you're gonna look back in 5 years and they're gonna look back and they're gonna say, like, this was the time to start today, right? In 5 years, it's gonna be just as good, but it's like this is the momentum time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it so many nuggets, so many different aspects. I will say one thing too that was just really opened my eyes is the Amish community. Like they had, I don't, I think on the earlier meeting today, they thought there was like, they said 300 of the Amish community. I think there was more, but um, just to watch them, they do this one at a time, right? One house, one living room. That a lot of them do it with no cell phone. They just have the house phone. They do it in a horse and buggy. Um, they rented a big bus to get there. And to watch a community like that be so excited and so powerful, just one at a time.
Yeah.
And they inspired me, right? Like all excuses gone. They, they take all the excuses out, and then they, when I listen to them speak, man, they are fired up. They are excited, and they didn't even really mention the money other than the impact that it makes on the people they're helping. It was more about the movement that they're making. Um, and so it was powerful. I would hands down get there. I'll never miss another one. And my goal is to make the leadership one, right? I know a short period of time, but big things happen when you get in those rooms. And I was super excited to be a part of it.
I'm so glad that you went. Well, you've got 2 months. You can do it. I know you can do it. I know you can.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I will say this, and Shar and I talked about this. So until July 31st at midnight, the tickets are, I think, 169.99. I think. That is the summit special, you guys. There is, like, you can grab your ticket now while it's that discounted price, right?
Mhm.
Then because they're going to go up. They're going to go up to the early bird price. Then they're going to go up again to the general admission price when they're not discounted, which is what I bought my ticket at 3 weeks ago. So you want to get there, you want to go ahead and just buy it now. Like Lori just,
You're right, Lori.
they
They
are
they
going
did
to sell
say they're
out.
gonna sell out.
They will sell out. They said that they got the reason why this conference is on a Wednesday and Thursday too. I've had several people message me and ask me, are these the right dates? They are the right dates, is because when you are trying to house this many people, I mean, they're projecting like 4,000 people at this one, maybe even more. When you're trying to house that many people at an event, finding an event space for that many people on a weekend, you've got to increase pricing. So they're trying to keep it as reasonable for us and finding an event space for us that will hold that many people. Um, Also, I know we have a big Georgia. I know not everyone on here is in Georgia, but a lot of people are in Georgia. Y'all, Charleston is what, 5.5 hours from where I am in North Georgia. That is we will be driving, and that will cut out the plane ticket cost. Now again, like, if you're not in Georgia, map it out, see if you can drive. If not, see what there is a airport there. Um, but just like Lori said, get your ticket, make it happen. If you can't go, the tickets are going to be in demand when they sell out, so you can always sell it and transfer it if something were to come up and you can't go. Go ahead and at least get your ticket. And then if you can't stay at whatever, they've not announced the venue yet for the hotel, but when they announce that, y'all, Shar and I talked about this. If your spouse is not going, like mine is planning on going, but if you can find people that want a room with you, put four in a room. Shar and I roomed this weekend together and split the hotel. You can easily get a double room with like two double or two queen size beds, put four of y'all in a room, split it 4 ways. It's 2 days, so you could probably come in on Tuesday. And I'm thinking about this too. If it's on a Wednesday and Thursday, chances are the hotel rates might be cheaper with it being through the week. Maybe. And then Lori said there's also some reasonable hotels in Charleston as well. So just go ahead and get your ticket and then plan it out. And also, I want to say this, there are what, 7 months between now and then, 6.5. So plan it to where you put back some of your Bravenly check between now and then. Put some of it back. That way you know that. Why are you looking at me like that? Am I wrong
Put
on
the
the
money
money?
back.
Oh, put some of your money back so that you can, have that money to spend on a hotel or split with people for a hotel, or a plane ticket, whichever you need. Dana, yes, Dana at her first conference, she slept on a couch. She didn't even know the people that she stayed with. So just get the ticket and make it happen and get there, because I promise you, you do not want to. I say every time each one gets better and better, and it really, really does.
I'm going to say just a word, but uh, I've been to leadership conferences, and I have been to uh, every trip she's earned.
And you
you
went
know,
to the February conference.
yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Oh,
And I ended up going to the February conference, and like I said, I've been to all them things, and I've heard people talk, but there was something different about conference. It put a belief in me that I can do this. And I left there and I told her, I said, I want to start doing this with you because I seen the impact that it was making on people. When you have your top leaders in this company standing at the bottom of the steps and their people are coming off that stage with tears in their eyes because of the impact these people have had on their lives. So that's where my desire come from. I want to impact people. I want to help people, whether it's health, financially, time freedom, whatever it may be. I want to let people, I want to be there for people. I want to be that person that people look to. So, hey, get to the event, make it happen. Like they said, you will leave there with a belief down on the inside that you cannot imagine. You will come back home and you will be on fire. You will run. So get to the event. Make it happen.
And if your husband goes, he may even believe that he can do it too.
There you go. Hey,
Just joking.
can't help it.
Um, Lord. All right, you guys. Well, we've kept you on 30 minutes, so I appreciate you all for hopping on. Shar, is there anything else that you had, or does anyone else have anything?
No, I just get in the room. That's the best takeaway that I can bring back.
Lori, do you have anything? I know you're,
Yes. Sorry, guys, I'm not feeling super great this evening. Um, I'll just keep it really, really short and say, most of you know that I was going to be there this past weekend, and when things happened with Dana and Haven, things changed, and I would not have been anywhere other than where I was. God put me where I was supposed to be this past weekend. But I will tell you, and Amelia and I talked about this today, the difference in getting updates about Summit, and thank goodness for Amelia updating me. The difference in getting updates from Amelia, from Brittany, from waiting for them to come in, Bravely Nation, and that kind of thing, and being in that room is like you can't get what you get from that room with updates, because it's not about sour apple back. It's not about wear conference. It is about all those things. And yeah, you can watch video of, I'm going to say this because she won't, but you can watch videos of people like Amelia sharing their heart on that stage because, girl, you killed it. You did so good. But you can watch that and you can see the same thing on a video that everyone else is seeing, but you can't feel it. You can't feel it. There's just something that goes all the way through you when you're in that room. So I will say, like Amelia just said, you've got months to plan this. I would sit down, I'd figure out what it's going to cost me, and I'd break it down by the month and I'd put it up aside. Because if you want to build this business, that extra oomph you need, it comes from being in that room. So,
Yeah.
and sorry, like I said, I'm not on camera, but just not feeling it tonight. But
no,
Amelia, thank you for letting us join in and
of
for
course,
sharing.
of course. Well, I'm glad that y'all got to join on here, and I'm glad that hopefully you got something out of this. And if you have any questions at all about any of it, reach out to your, your sponsor, your upline, and we'll talk about it. If you need help mapping out some sort of, way, reach out about that too, and we would be more than happy to help you with that too. So, all right, well, I will talk to y'all later. Y'all have a great rest of your evening. Bye, y'all.
See ya.